Good morning. This is a podcast, Ancient Rome Today. As you know, the Winter Olympics will start in Milan and Cortina on February 6th, 2026. Therefore, it seems to be the right time to talk about the history of the Olympic Games. First of all, it should be noted that the first Olympic Games in history were held before the founding of Rome in 776 BC in the city of Olympia in Greece. Initially, it was merely a local event, featuring only a running race. Later, such sports as chariot racing, boxing, wrestling, and the pentathlon were also included. Over the centuries, the Olympic Games became increasingly important throughout ancient Greece. Unlike the modern Olympics, the Games were always held in the same place, the city of Olympia, since there was an important statue of Zeus. However, that were not only the inhabitants of Olympia who participated, but also athletes from other Greek cities. Only free Greeks were allowed to participate. Slaves, foreigners, murderers, sacrilegious people, and women were excluded. The Games were held every 4 years, just as they are today. The Olympics lasted 5 days. For the duration of the Games, wars throughout Greece were suspended. This phenomenon was called the Olympic Truce. As you know, the Romans conquered Greece in the 2nd century BC. Since they were amazed by the level of cultural development in Greece, they also decided to adopt the Olympic Games in Rome, calling them the Ludi. Initially, the Ludi included chariot races in the Circus Maximus and gladiatorial combat. Under the Greek influence, some emperors, like Domitian, added Olympic Greek disciplines such as running, boxing, pankration, pentathlon, and others to the Ludi program. Although there are many similarities between the Greek and Roman Games, there are also many differences between them. The main one refers to the ideological aspect. While the Greeks focused on pure athletics and the perfection of physical fitness, the Romans organized those games with public entertainment in mind. Chariot races and athletic performances were considered mass spectacles. At the end of the 4th century AD, Emperor Theodosius made Christianity the official state religion. Yes, it was him, but not Emperor Constantine. Let's remind that Constantine is the one who made Christianity the official religion, so Christians no longer had to hide. Since both the Greek and Roman Olympics followed pagan traditions, they were not in line with Christian values. Therefore, in 393 AD, Emperor Theodosius abolished the Olympics. Nearly 1,600 years later, in 1896, the Olympic Games were restored in Athens thanks to the initiative of Pierre de Coubertin. His principal idea was to bring nations closer and allow young people to compete in sporting competitions rather than in war. The first Winter Olympics were held in Chamonix, France, in 1924. This event was initially called International Winter Sports Week and was later recognized by the Olympic Committee as the first official Winter Games, with 258 athletes from 16 nations participating, including women. The main sports disciplines in the first Winter Olympics were figure skating, ice hockey, bobsleigh, ski jumping, and cross-country skiing. The 2026 Olympic program features 16 disciplines, including ice hockey, ski mountaineering, biathlon, figure skating, and others. There will be hundreds of participants from 96 nations. Obviously, the way the Olympics are held today is different from how they were held in the past. First of all, there are many more types of sports present nowadays. What's more, there is no single location for the Olympics. The location changes every 4 years. Furthermore, the Winter Games did not exist in ancient times, so it's something that has been introduced in the previous century based on the concept of the Summer Olympics. The other difference concerns the Olympic flame. For ancient Greeks, fire symbolized the connection with the gods. During the Olympic Games, which honored Zeus, fires were lit in the temples dedicated to him and his wife, Hera. Today, however, the Olympic flame travels a long distance before arriving in the host city. For example, the Olympic flame for the Milan Cortina Winter Games was lit in Olympia on November 26, 2025, during the ritual ceremony. It will continue its 12,000-kilometer journey through Greece and Italy. It should arrive at the Giuseppe Meazza Stadium in Milan on February 6, 2026, the day of the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games. Nonetheless, the core concept of the Olympics has remained unchanged for 3,000 years. When it comes to the Greek Olympic Games, the key points are about continuous training and a competitive spirit. In Greece, the winners were almost deified. Today, Olympic champions achieve global recognition in addition to material rewards. When it comes to the Roman Games, the Ludi, the key point has always been the public entertainment. Aside from stadiums with live spectators, people around the world can watch and cheer on their favorite athletes thanks to global television broadcasts. Thank you for your attention.